In this story, a young lady chose love over her parents' warning and married a poor man. But when he discovered she was pregnant with triplets, he did something that changed her life forever. He threw her out. Lisa never believed in fairy tales. But when she met Kelvin at the university, she started to believe that maybe, just maybe, love could be enough. They met on a hot afternoon in their second year. The lecture hall was crowded. Fans were turning slowly, doing nothing to fight the heat. Lisa was late and searching for a seat when she noticed a young man waving at her. "Here," he whispered, moving his bag. That was Kelvin. From that day, they became inseparable. They studied together, ate together, and walked long distances across campus just to spend more time with each other. Kelvin was not rich. In fact, he was one of the poorest students in their class. But he was kind, hardworking, and full of dreams. He always said, "One day, I will make you proud." Lisa believed him, but her parents did not. The first time Lisa told her mother about Kelvin, the woman shook her head. "That boy has nothing," she said. "Love does not feed a family." Her father was even more direct. "If you marry him, you will suffer." Lisa cried that night, but her heart did not change. She loved Kelvin. She believed they would build something together. So after graduation, when Kelvin proposed with a simple ring he bought from a roadside seller, Lisa said yes. They married quietly. No big ceremony. No music. No crowd. Just two young people and their faith in the future. The first year of marriage was hard. They moved into a small one-bedroom in a crowded slum in Lagos. The roof leaked when it rained. The walls were cracked. Sometimes the power would disappear for days. At night, they could hear neighbors arguing, babies crying, and generators roaring like angry animals. Still, they were happy. Kelvin woke up every morning before sunrise to look for work. Sometimes he carried cement at construction sites. Other days he mixed sand and water under the hot sun. His hands became rough. His back ached. But he never complained. Lisa also refused to sit idle. She borrowed a small sewing machine and started a tiny tailoring business from home. At first, she only fixed torn clothes. Later, she began sewing simple dresses for women in the neighborhood. At night, when they were both tired, they would sit outside their room and talk. One day, Kelvin would say, "We will leave this place." Lisa would smile. One day. Even when there was little food, they shared what they had. Sometimes it was only gari and groundnuts. Sometimes they laughed at their struggles. Sometimes they cried together. But they always held each other. Then one morning, everything changed. Lisa noticed her body felt different. She was tired all the time. The smell of food made her sick. After weeks of wondering, she finally bought a cheap pregnancy test. Her hands were shaking as she waited. When the result showed positive, she covered her mouth and burst into tears. Kelvin would be so happy. That evening, she prepared his favorite meal with the little money she had. When he entered the room, sweaty and exhausted, she hugged him tightly. "What is it?" he asked, confused. Lisa took his hand and placed it on her stomach. "I'm pregnant." For a moment, Kelvin froze. Then his face lit up. He lifted her off the ground and laughed. "Are you serious? Lisa, are you serious?" She nodded, crying and laughing at the same time. That night, they talked about baby names. Kelvin said he wanted a boy. Lisa said she didn't care as long as the baby was healthy. They prayed together. They thanked God. For the first time in months, hope felt real. A few weeks later, they went to the hospital for a scan. The clinic was small and crowded. Women sat on plastic chairs, fanning themselves. Babies cried. Nurses shouted names. Lisa lay on the bed while the doctor moved the scanning device over her stomach. At first, everything was normal. The doctor looked at the screen quietly. Then he looked again. His expression changed. Lisa noticed it. "Doctor, is everything okay?" she asked. The doctor hesitated. "Yes, but there is something you need to know." Kelvin stepped closer. "What is it?" The doctor pointed at the screen. "There are 3. Lisa blinked. 3. The doctor nodded. "You are carrying triplets." For a few seconds, Lisa could not speak. She felt her heart racing. Tears filled her eyes. Triplets. 3 babies. She turned to Kelvin, expecting him to smile, to laugh, to hold her like before. But Kelvin was not smiling. His face had gone pale. He stared at the screen as if it was an enemy. "What did you say?" he asked slowly. "Triplets," the doctor repeated. Silence filled the room. Lisa reached for Kelvin's hand. He did not hold her back. Instead, he pulled his hand away. "That is impossible," he said. The doctor frowned. "It happens." Kelvin shook his head. No. No one in my family has ever had triplets. Lisa's smile disappeared. Kelvin. He turned to her sharply. Are you sure these children are mine? The words hit her like a slap. Lisa gasped. What are you saying? Kelvin's voice grew louder. How can a poor man like me suddenly have triplets? Who did this to me? People in the clinic began to look at them. Tears rolled down Lisa's face. Kelvin, how can you say that? You know me. But Kelvin was no longer listening. His eyes were full of anger and fear. He walked out of the room without looking back. Lisa sat there, frozen, her heart breaking. Outside the hospital, Kelvin did not wait for her. He stood far away, breathing heavily. When Lisa reached him, he refused to look at her. The journey home was silent. That night, Kelvin did not touch the food she prepared. He did not speak to her. He did not pray. He only stared at the wall. Lisa lay awake, tears falling silently. She kept touching her stomach. My babies, she whispered. But deep in her heart, fear had already entered. Because the man she loved was beginning to change. And she did not know that this was only the beginning. From the day of that hospital visit, Kelvin was no longer the man Lisa married. At first, it was small things. He stopped asking how she felt. He stopped touching her stomach. He stopped talking about the future. The silence in their small room became heavy, like a dark cloud that refused to leave. One evening, Lisa tried to break it. Kelvin, she said softly, we will be fine. God will help us. Kelvin laughed, but there was no joy in it. God, he said. Will God feed 3 babies? Lisa swallowed. We will work harder. I will sew more. You will get better jobs. Kelvin turned to her, his eyes cold. You think this is a joke? 3 children at once? Do you know what that means? Lisa nodded slowly. It means double blessing. Kelvin slammed his hand on the table. It means shame. He shouted. It means people will laugh at me. It means you have ruined my life. Lisa froze. How can you say that? Kelvin stood up and began pacing. No history of triplets in my family. No money. Nothing. And suddenly you are pregnant with 3? Tell me the truth, Lisa. Who is the father? The words cut deeper this time. Tears ran down her face. You are the father. You know that. But Kelvin had already made up his mind. From that day, everything changed. He stopped giving Lisa money. He came home late. Sometimes he did not come home at all. When Lisa asked where he had been, he would shout, You are the problem in this house. Lazy woman, you want to destroy me. She worked harder. Her hands became swollen from sewing. Her back ached constantly. Still, she tried to keep peace. But Kelvin only became worse. One afternoon, when Lisa was about 7 months pregnant, she returned from buying fabric. As she entered their room, she saw Kelvin sitting there with another woman. Lisa stopped walking. The woman stood up quickly and adjusted her dress. Kelvin, who is this? Lisa asked, her voice shaking. Kelvin did not even look ashamed. She is someone who respects me, he said. Lisa felt the world spinning. I am your wife. Kelvin stood up. You stopped being my wife the day you decided to disgrace me. Lisa dropped the bag in her hand. Kelvin, please. I am carrying your children. He pointed at the door. Leave. Lisa blinked. What? I said leave. Go and meet the man who gave you triplets. The other woman watched silently. Lisa's heart pounded. Where will I go? I don't care. Kelvin, please. I have nowhere. Not my problem. Her legs became weak. Please, just let me stay until I give birth. Kelvin grabbed her arm and dragged her to the door. I said leave. He pushed her out. Her body hit the ground. Before she could stand up, he threw her small bag after her and slammed the door. Lisa stayed there for a long time, staring at the door, waiting for it to open again. It never did. Night came. Rain began to fall. Neighbors passed and whispered, but no one helped. Slowly, Lisa stood up and walked. She did not know where she was going. Days turned into weeks. Lisa became homeless. She begged for food at markets. Some people gave her leftovers. Some insulted her. Some ignored her completely. At night, she slept under bridges, holding her stomach, talking to her unborn babies. I am here, she would whisper. I will not leave you. Her body became weak. Her feet swelled. Sometimes she felt dizzy, but she kept moving. One cold night, everything changed. The sky was dark. Heavy clouds covered the moon. Lisa had not eaten all day. She found a corner under a bridge and tried to rest. Suddenly a sharp pain shot through her body. She gasped. Another pain came stronger. No, Not now, she whispered. Her water broke. Fear filled her heart. She screamed, but the road above was busy. Cars passed. People walked. Nobody stopped. The pain became unbearable. She lay on the cold ground, crying, begging. Please, somebody help me. A group of young men passed. They looked at her and laughed. Another mad woman, one said. They kept walking. Lisa felt her strength fading. I cannot die here, she cried. My babies, please. Rain began to fall. Her clothes became wet. Her body shook. Just when she thought everything was over, headlights stopped nearby. A car door opened. Footsteps approached. A woman's voice spoke. Oh my God. Lisa opened her eyes weakly. A well-dressed woman stood above her, shocked. Help me, Lisa whispered. The woman did not hesitate. She called her driver. Together they carried Lisa into the car. Take us to the hospital. Fast, she ordered. Everything after that became a blur. Bright lights. Nurses shouting. Doctors running. Lisa screamed as the pain grew stronger. Hours later, the sound of crying filled the room. One baby, then another, then the third. 3 loud, powerful cries. Tears streamed down Lisa's face. They are alive, the nurse said, smiling. Lisa laughed and cried at the same time. My babies, my babies. Later, when she was resting, the wealthy woman entered the room. Lisa tried to sit up. Thank you so much, she said. The woman smiled gently. You are strong, she said. Lisa held her hand. Why did you help me? The woman only said, because someone helped me once. Before Lisa could ask more, the woman stood up. I have paid all your hospital bills. You and your children are safe. Lisa's eyes widened. Please, your name? But the woman only smiled again. Take care of your children. And she left. Lisa never saw her again. That night, Lisa lay in the hospital bed, holding her 3 babies close. The room was quiet. The future was uncertain. But for the first time in months, hope returned. Still, one question remained in her heart. How would she raise 3 children alone? The first night Lisa brought the triplets home, she did not sleep. She sat on the thin mattress in the small room she had managed to rent with help from a kind nurse. One baby slept on her left arm, another on her chest, the third beside her. Every few minutes, one of them cried. She fed one, rocked another, sang softly to the third. By morning, her eyes were red and swollen. Her body ached from the birth. But when she looked at their tiny faces, something inside her became stronger. I will not fail you, she whispered. The days that followed were the hardest of her life. Food was not enough. Sleep was almost impossible. Sometimes, she cried silently while breastfeeding, but she never gave up. She began sewing again. She placed the old sewing machine beside the mattress. While the babies slept, she worked. When they cried, she stopped. Then she continued. Her hands moved faster than ever before. She repaired clothes. She sewed simple dresses. She begged customers to pay small advances. Many days, she worked until her fingers bled. Still, she kept the children a secret from her parents. Shame held her back. She remembered her mother's warning. She imagined the disappointment in their faces. So she stayed away. She struggled alone. Years passed slowly. The triplets grew. They were lively, curious, and strong. Even as toddlers, they understood their mother's pain. When Lisa was tired, they would hug her. When she cried, they wiped her tears. One evening, when the children were about 3 years old, everything changed. Lisa was working late when someone knocked on her door. She froze. She opened it slowly. Her mother stood there. For a moment, neither of them spoke. Then her mother's eyes moved past Lisa and saw the children. 3 small faces stared back. Shock covered her mother's face. Then anger, then pain. Lisa, what is this? Tears filled Lisa's eyes. Mom, I wanted to tell you. Her mother stepped inside slowly, looking at the children. Triplets? She whispered. Lisa nodded. The children ran to her mother and hugged her legs as if they had always known her. Something in the older woman broke. She began to cry. You suffered all this alone. Lisa could no longer hold back. She fell to her knees. I was afraid. I thought you would hate me. Her mother lifted her up. Never. That night, Lisa's parents took them home. For the first time in years, Lisa slept peacefully. Life began to change. Her parents helped care for the children. They fed them, clothed them, and filled the house with laughter. Lisa now had more time to focus on her work. Her designs improved. Her confidence grew. Customers began to come from other parts of Lagos. Soon, people were talking about the young tailor with 3 brilliant children. Meanwhile, Kelvin's life moved in the opposite direction. He continued drinking. He moved from one woman to another. He worked small jobs and spent the money carelessly. Sometimes, late at night, he thought about Lisa. But pride and shame kept him away. Years turned into decades. The triplets became teenagers. They were intelligent and hardworking, just like their mother. One day, the first big miracle came. One of the triplets received a scholarship to study abroad. The house exploded with joy. Lisa cried as she hugged her child. "You have made me proud." Soon, the others followed. Scholarships, awards, recognition. The children promised her something that day. "We will change your life, Mom." But Lisa smiled. "You already have." At the same time, her fashion business was growing beyond anything she had imagined. Her designs appeared in magazines. Celebrities began wearing her clothes. She was invited to fashion shows. The first time she walked into an international fashion event, she remembered the bridge where she almost died. Tears filled her eyes. She had come so far. The day her brand went global, Lisa stood in front of cameras, flashing lights surrounding her. "Who inspired you?" a reporter asked. Lisa smiled. "My children." Back home, the triplets watched the interview. They clapped and shouted. "You did it, Mom." But success did not change Lisa's heart. She remained humble. She still prayed every morning. She still thanked God every night. And she never forgot the mysterious woman who saved her. Sometimes, she wondered where that woman was. Was she alive? Did she know what her kindness had created? One evening, after a grand celebration for her company's anniversary, Lisa stood outside the event hall. The night air was cool. She felt peaceful. Suddenly, she noticed a man standing across the road. He looked older, tired, broken. He was staring at her with wide eyes. Lisa's heart skipped. For a moment, she did not recognize him. Then the truth hit her. Kelvin. He looked at the luxury cars, the security guards, the photographers. Then he looked back at Lisa. Shock, regret, and pain filled his face. Before she could move, he turned and walked away. Lisa stood there, frozen. The past had finally found her. And she knew this was not the end. For many nights after that event, Lisa could not sleep. She kept seeing Kelvin's face, the same man who had once pushed her out into the rain, now standing like a stranger, looking lost and broken. She told no one. Not her parents. Not her children. But deep inside, she knew he would return. And he did. One quiet afternoon, Lisa was in her office reviewing designs when her assistant knocked gently. "Right, there is a man here to see you." Lisa looked up. "Who?" The assistant hesitated. He said his name is Kelvin. Lisa's heart stopped. For a few seconds, she could not breathe. She closed her eyes. After 20 years, the past had finally arrived. "Let him in," she said calmly. When Kelvin walked into the office, Lisa almost did not recognize him. The confident young man she had married was gone. This man looked tired. His clothes were old but clean. His hair had gray strands. His eyes carried years of regret. He stopped a few steps away. Neither of them spoke. The silence was heavy. Finally, Kelvin fell to his knees. "I am sorry." The words were soft, broken. Lisa stared at him. For years, she had imagined this moment. She had imagined anger. She had imagined revenge. But now all she felt was calm. "Stand up," she said. But Kelvin shook his head. "I do not deserve to stand before you." Tears filled his eyes. "I ruined everything. I destroyed our family. I hurt you when you needed me the most." Lisa watched him quietly. Kelvin continued. "After you left, my life went downhill. I thought I would be happy. I thought freedom meant peace. But I was wrong." He wiped his face. "I lost jobs. I lost friends. The women I trusted betrayed me. I became lonely." His voice broke. "Every night I remembered the day I threw you out. I remembered the rain. I remembered your face." Lisa's chest tightened. Kelvin looked up. "When I saw you that night at the event, I realized what I lost." He bowed his head. "I am begging you. Please forgive me. Give me a chance to know my children." The room was silent. Lisa took a deep breath. For a long time, she said nothing. Then she spoke. "I forgave you a long time ago." Kelvin looked up in shock. "What?" Lisa nodded. "I forgave you because I needed peace. I forgave you because I refused to let bitterness control my life." Kelvin began to cry. "Thank you. Thank you." But Lisa raised her hand. "I forgave you. But forgiveness does not erase the past." Kelvin froze. "You left me when I needed you. You chose to believe lies instead of trusting your wife." Tears rolled down her face now. "You pushed me into the streets. I almost died. Our children almost died." Kelvin lowered his head. I know. Lisa continued. I survived because of God, because of strangers, and because of my own strength. Not because of you. The words were firm but not cruel. Kelvin nodded slowly. I understand. At that moment, the office door opened. The triplets entered. They had heard everything. They stood behind their mother, tall and confident. Kelvin's eyes widened as he looked at them. His children. Grown. Successful. Strong. He stood up slowly. I am your father. The room became tense. One of the triplets stepped forward. Yes, we know. Kelvin's voice trembled. I am sorry. I was young. I was foolish. I want to be part of your lives. Silence. Another child spoke. We have prayed for you for years. Kelvin's face lit up. Really? Yes, the child said softly. We prayed that God would heal your heart. Kelvin began to cry again. But then the first child spoke once more. We forgive you. Kelvin smiled through tears. But, the word hung in the air. We cannot have a relationship with you. The smile disappeared. Kelvin's face fell. Why? The third child stepped forward. Because our mother was both father and mother to us. Another continued. She carried the pain. She carried the burden. She never abandoned us. The first child added. You were not there when we were sick. You were not there when we graduated. You were not there when we needed a father. Kelvin's shoulders shook. We respect you. We forgive you. But we cannot pretend the past did not happen. The room was quiet. Lisa looked at her children with pride. They were not speaking from anger. They were speaking from truth. Kelvin wiped his tears. I understand. He turned to Lisa. You raised them well. Lisa smiled softly. They raised me too. Kelvin nodded. I do not deserve you. He began to walk toward the door. Before leaving, he stopped. Thank you for forgiving me. Lisa nodded. Take care of yourself. Kelvin walked away. This time, no one stopped him. But this time, the door did not close with pain. It closed with peace. Lisa turned to her children. They hugged her tightly. We love you, Mom. I love you more. As they stood together, Lisa realized something. Her life had not been destroyed. It had been rebuilt. Stronger. Wiser. Unbreakable. And in that moment, she knew the truth. Forgiveness is powerful. But boundaries are strength. And sometimes, the greatest victory is not revenge. It is peace. The end. What did you get to learn from this story? Kindly drop your thoughts and questions below. Do well to hit the subscribe button to see more emotional and exciting stories like this on Afro Tales by Siri.